un tiburón nadando en el agua.
In California, more than half of the children under 8 years old are growing up in households and communities where they speak more than one language. These English language learners have the incredible ability to learn and develop both of their languages.
Paleontólogo, ¿cómo se dice paleontólogo en inglés? Son los cognados. Entonces es lo bonito de los dos idiomas, que podemos aprender algo en un español y lo podemos hacer la conexión en inglés. ¿Es el puente o es la conexión?
One of the amazing things about being bilingual is that you don't have two separate brains. What you know in one language often applies to what you know in the next.
Exacto. Idioma 2 me puede ayudar idioma 1, idioma 1, idioma 2. Muy bien. ¿Qué palabras que hay acá me ayudan a entender palabras de inglés?
So when we create school environments and we create classrooms in which students are able to articulate and identify those cross-language connections, we're building upon the genius of the dual language brain.
Así se dice.
What this looks like in the classroom is that it can come in the form of strategies. So we can have cross-language strategies, such as Así se dice, where students are very intentionally looking at the two languages side by side and how they work similarly and how they work differently.
Y hay unas cosas que son iguales en español e inglés y unas cosas que son diferentes.
Cross-language lessons are instructional times in the day that a teacher plans in which students are doing this metalinguistic analysis of how one language works and how another works.
Tengo aquí.
¡Pizza!
Muy bien. ¿Y empieza con el sonido?
In the kindergarten class today, the teacher was building on a lesson that the students had already had in Spanish literacy around the syllables in Spanish and the sounds that they make, and was helping students make the connection to the fact that P makes the same sound in English.
Penguins. 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 Yeah, that's what. Okay.
After the part of the lesson where the teacher was instructing on these sounds, the students were invited to take this work in to centers where they were going to be working with partners to hunt through the room, to hunt through their resources, and take ownership of the charts and put their own ideas on the charts. In SEAL, we have immersive classrooms in which students are engaged in the thematic instruction. The walls, the room come to life as the students build it together. So today we had a chance to see some, as the teacher called them, linguistic archaeologists.
Explosión no es. Ya, ajá.
¿O sí?
Explosión, explosions.
Ah, ok, sí.
As a part of that, one of the center choices for students was to don their archaeologist gear, their hats and their vests, and grab their magnifying glasses and go on a hunt for words.
Es erupción, es erupts, como
Volcanoes.
sí, como volcán, erupciones. Erupciones. ¿Cómo se dice?
Erupciones.
Pero en inglés.
Eruptions.
Sí, así, ajá.
También es un cognado. Eruptions.
When we create environments in which students are encouraged to look at those differences and similarities between their languages, we create a space that allows for these cross-language moments where students stop and go, oh, I see a cognate. And the role of the teacher is to stop, to acknowledge it, to celebrate that student's growing bilingualism and their ability to see those connections, and to build off of those aha moments.
Ahora vamos a hacer el puente, vamos a hacer la conexión del español al inglés. Es poquito diferente.
When the teacher had done an oral language analysis, one of the students had said, the shovel of the paleontologists. Now, for a teacher who understands Spanish, you know this student is doing a brilliant thing. They're using the grammatically correct form of possessives in Spanish, only substituting in the English vocabulary. We call this an approximation instead of calling it an error. It's a student who's getting there. They're using what they know in one language and approximating it in the next.
Really love the way that you're using what you know in Spanish to try to make sense of English.
We can build on these strengths by acknowledging them, acknowledging the genius of them, and then teaching the correct way to say it in the other language.
Would you say The key of Mrs. Lopez is gold.
Today in the class, the teacher asked the students, does it sound right to you if we say the keys of Miss Lopez? And the students all said, yes, it sounds right because it's grammatically correct in Spanish. And that's where she knew she needed to teach. In fact, here's how it works differently in English.
The shoes of David are fabulous. I think you would say David's shoes are fabulous.
One thing that I was noticing in your talking, in your writing, is that you're using some things in English that may be possibly coming from Spanish. Some of you say, do you know this word? Para or para que. Normally in Spanish, you would use para or para que when you're giving a reason. I didn't really know this because I don't speak Spanish. I had to do some extra research, okay? And so when we say it in English, we don't actually say for. Instead of saying para or para que, you could say so that or in order to. Can you guys say that with me? So that or in order to.
Many of our English instructed classrooms in California are super diverse classrooms in which there are a multitude of home languages. It is equally important for teachers in those classrooms to be able to build on their students' cross-language connections as well. This looks like creating an environment in which students' home languages are recognized and celebrated, where students feel comfortable speaking in their home languages, and where teachers themselves are modeling that idea of being a language detective and trying to understand and learn. How is it similar in your language? Do you read right to left in the language that your parents speak, or is it different? Articulating those similarities and differences that help students more deeply understand both their home language as well as English.
Someday, because I speak two languages, I will be able to help other people that don't speak Spanish.
In SEAL, we want students to have mastery of all of their languages, to be able to use them both proficiently and to be able to move in and across them fluently. We want students to have the skills to read, write, to communicate, to change the world, and to have voice to articulate for themselves and for their communities.
Because I speak English, I could talk to my brother and help translate for my mom at the doctor's and say my mom needs medicine.
Muy bien.